My name is Cardell Jones, and I decided to do my speech on Martin Luther King Jr., my informative speech. Um, Martin Luther King Jr. was born January the 15th, which is my little brother's birthday. I have one brother, and he was born on the 15th as well, and he always talks about it. He was born in Georgia, and I did not know that his name was Michael before it was Martin. I do know a lot of people use different aliases or whatever, but I did not know his name was Michael. I also did not know that Martin Luther King Jr. had two sisters. Martin Luther King Jr., we all know, was a civil rights activist, a leader. He fought for equality for all races, not just one race. He wanted everyone to be counted as equal, no matter what race you were. Martin Luther King Jr. also had the "I Had a Dream" speech. We all know about. Well, I'm not gonna say we all do because some people don't. I mean, of course, whether it be age or what have you, but the "I Had a Dream" speech was one of the most monumental speeches of my time for sure, that I was taught. Also, the march was also a monumental time. Martin Luther King Jr. set a lot of he broke down a lot of barriers, and he received a lot of accolades. He also has the Nobel Peace Prize, which is something that I did not know. In his time, his main message, unlike Malcolm X, who felt that it was an eye for an eye, Martin Luther King Jr. was more or less, he was about peace. He didn't want any type of racial violence. He never used racial slurs about anyone. Even when people threw things at them during the march and this, that, and the other, Martin Luther King Jr. never promoted violence, which is an interesting thing to me coming from that time, being that you had so much racial tension and segregation. I guess Martin Luther King Jr. just felt that eventually, in due time, that the barriers would be broken down and everyone would be counted as equal, which I would say it's gotten a lot better. I wouldn't say, not just because I'm an African American man, just because, the things I see on the TV and the news, and you got certain death penalty decisions and this, that, and the third, and people get exonerated. It's a lot of things that go into the racial issue than just slavery to me. So I wouldn't say it has got to where Martin Luther King wants it, but it's going towards that direction. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the most influential civil rights activists that I know, and like I said, he'll be greatly missed. Martin Luther King Jr. was definitely a different advocate of his time during that time. Like I said, like Malcolm X and most African Americans, whether it was the Black Panthers or whatever have you, during that time, I'm not going to say they promoted violence, but they were more willing to defend themselves compared to Martin Luther King Jr. and his movement. And, I think that's very strong of a man to take so much, so many issues from people, so much degrading and the way things were segregated at that time, and still feel that he can make a change without being violent and make people believe in his movement. That was very, very, that was very powerful.